right? And this has been setting the internet on fires. Teleporta. It's 2 CP. And use this stratagem during deployment. You can set up an orc unit from your army with a power rating of 20 or less on a teleporter pad instead of placing it on the battlefield. So units on a teleporter pad can teleport down at the end of any of your movement phases, set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches from any enemy models. If you use the stratagem on a transport, all units embarked inside remain so when it is set up on the teleporter. So that seems kind of good.
Kenny,
yes, sir.
I have a quick question. Just jog my memory real quick. Was it not near episode 147, 151 of the Long War podcast where potentially you or someone on a panel, we went in describing that everyone should potentially have a deep strike stratagem?
Yes.
Confirmed.
So basically, I think he should just made it official with a universal stratagem. But this is kind of cool because there's more going on, and I have to give credit to GW, right? So a lot of what we've been saying lately is like, GW, really, but like straight up, I like this because there's more narrative here. There's more than meets the eye. Because like for example, Eldar, they have this version where it's like 1 unit's 1 CP, 2 is 3, or some shit like that. But since they're a super faction, and they can have like Drukhari, Eldari, and Harlequins in the same faction, they all have that same wording. So since they're a super faction, they gave you one that is got a different restriction on it, right? Whereas Orks don't get to do that. They gave them one that you can go infinite on. So, right? You could literally say it's 2 CPs. You could just do everything as long as you follow the rules. So I'm like, okay, I do like it not being a universal stratagem. That because if it was a universal stratagem, it would probably all be like the Eldari one, where the Webway, where it's 1 unit's 1 CP, 2 is 3. So I'm like, I don't want that because not all armies are created equal. They're not all super factions. So I do really like this because it's a mono faction. It should have one that, sure, the initial cost is more expensive, but the fact that you could put 30 dudes down, 30 dudes down, 30 dudes down, you can just keep going. It's pretty awesome. And it's not different than like a triple Eldari army, right? Like if you have Drukhari, Eldari, and Harlequins, and you're trying to deep strike 2 units from each one of those squads, you're paying 9 fucking CP, right? So if you want to do 6 units, it's 9 CP. If you want to do 5 units, it's 10 CP. It's pretty close to the math. So I like this unrestricted level. I like the narrative, so I do rescind like a universal stratagem that has one wording. I don't like that. GW will give you a little bit of credit for this one. Keep it with the fresh narrative.
Yeah, I also like the fact that, as it's described, if the unit is embarked in a transport, that transport can also come in. So now you're saying we get to deep strike.
What that means is you have orc drop pods.
Yes. That are not a waste of points because once they hit the ground, they are not immobilized. Right? Correct. So, no, I feel like this is really solid.
It's the most useful tidbit we have received yet. It is the absolute that there's a reason GW leaked this one first. Like this or not first, but like they leaked it right now. It's because it is as a lull's coming in the hype train of Orktober. They're like, here it is, motherfuckers. This is one that every orc player.
This is what you wanted
because it's orc keyword. It's not vehicle. It's not infantry biker. It's literally orc, son. So you can rack your brain on what is the most effective shit. I've spent hours thinking about it, just correlating, like Eldar do it, like Crimson Hunter, Deep Strike, Webway. That is a fucking deadly Crimson Hunter. A Crimson Hunter, you don't get to fucking shoot before the game, like on turn 1. So going second safely is the name of the game. Orcs can do that. Now they have access to that just like anyone else. Amazing fucking rule for Orcs. And
plus match with that relic that we're gonna get to in a little bit.
Yeah, before I change subjects, last thing, I just want to say this because Nobz have not been, like Nobz. We talked about a webcast. Anyone listening to the podcast, I believe basic bitch Nobz, not bikers, not mega Nobz. I think that Nobz are gonna take a point deduction across the board. And I do think some of them are not gonna be effective, but I think basic hobo Nobz, walking around Nobz, are gonna go sub 200 for 10 with all big choppers. That's going to be one of the premium teleporty units out there, aligned to Evil Sons, which they get to add 1 to their move, advance, and charge, which means these dudes are going to get an 8-inch charge when they drop in, and they get to reroll the fucking charge, because here we go. And the rumor right now is Here We Go is going to be the best version of rerolling charges, which lets you reroll any combination of the dice, all but guaranteed now. Even with a command point reroll, you can roll 8s. So I think that is a big deal to me, being a long-term Ork fan, loving Nobz. I have such high hopes for a Nob close combat squad using teleporty, rolling an 8-inch charge with a reroll, and fight it twice stratagem is going to guarantee being this Codex. That unit is Zangor's.